Hey y'all, because we say y'all here in Texas, part of our country grammar. Instead of saying you all, we say y'all. So when you get here to Texas, if you're moving here, make sure you greet us. You say y'all, because that's how we talk. Okay, so welcome to my YouTube channel where I discuss the ups, the downs of living in Houston, Texas, what it's like to eat here, what it's like to play here, what it's like to sleep here, what it's like to live here. We're the third largest metropolitan city in the United States of America. We've grown so much, and I've watched the city grow from like this small country kind of rural town to this big metropolitan city. I've watched the housing development come up over the years. I watched the commercial buildings and restaurants and hotels and things come up over the years. So I know a lot about this city. So that's what I'm going to be discussing on this YouTube channel. So stay tuned if you want to know more about what it's like to live here in Houston, Texas. All right, hey you guys. So we're gonna go over in this video what is it like to live in Houston, Texas. There's some pros, there's some cons, and I just want to make sure if you're not from the city that you know what to expect when you move here to the city. We have a lot of people moving here due to the jobs, due to the prices of our homes, due to the lifestyle, due to the great climate and weather. So we have a lot of people coming here. So we have people reaching out to us all the time, calling us, texting us, emailing my team and myself to figure out where is the best places to live, where's the best subdivisions, the best schools if you have children. Just like trying to figure out where to narrow down where to live. So that is something we can help you with on a consultation. But let me get into some of the pros and cons of Houston so that you're aware of it, and then you can make the decision if this is the right city for you. I'm a native Houstonian, so we can start with the pros. I'll just tell you I love this city. It's a great city. I've watched it grow from this small rural town, country, horses and cows everywhere, cowboy hats, cowboy boots, to this major metropolitan city it is today. Now, even though we're in modern times, we still got our horses and cows in some of our rural parts of town, and we still wear our cowgirl hats and boots during rodeo, which is a major event that draws over 2 to 3 million people a year here. So we still have a lot of our Texas tradition, and we still say y'all, okay? So we'll start with some of the pros. Some of the pros are we are a very friendly state. I went to college on the northern part of the country. I went to another college on the western part of the country, and I can honestly say we are very, very friendly. If you meet a traditional Texan, they're gonna say hi to you. They're gonna help you if you walk up to them and say, "I need help with whatever." They're gonna direct you in the right way, or they're gonna try to help you. One of the things is if you're stuck on the side of the road with a flat tire, a Texan or an original Texan is gonna stop and see if you're okay. Now, we are a big metropolitan city. We do have a lot of people who moved here from other places, so some of that traditional hospitality is kind of fading away. But overall, we come together, especially when there's a time of like catastrophic event. We like unite like you've never seen before, and we just start going out helping each other like we're best friends with them, like we've known them our whole life, and we don't know these people at all. So that's our Texas tradition. So I always tell you, if you come here, try to help us uphold that Texas tradition. We don't like littering here. We used to have a lot of signs on the Texas freeway that would say no littering, or you get $1,000, $2,000 fine. We like to keep our city as clean as possible. Okay. Some of the great reasons why people are migrating here and coming here, at least the ones that are calling me and my team, is the fact that we have no state income tax, and that helps a lot. It may not seem like a big deal to some people, but if you, especially a high income earner, you already have the federal tax, you already have the state sales tax, you have property taxes, you have taxes on everything. So one of the things we don't have is a state tax, so that helps people save a little bit of money and reinvest that money into other ventures that they're working on. So people love that. Another thing is we have beautiful housing. Like, we have some of the best developers here, builders here. We have small independent mom and pop kind of builders, and then we have the bigger guy builders like the David Weekley, the Cahovania Homes, Trendmaker Homes, Newmark Homes, the Frederick Harris Luxury Homes, and some other luxury builders as well. And we have David Weekley, D.R. Horton, So we have a lot of the major builders that you see across the country are here in our state building homes for our residents. And they build beautiful homes with a lot of upgrades that will cost usually a lot in other states is included here. People, when they move here, are very shocked to see that we have granite countertops and stainless steel appliances and double pane windows, or certain things in our homes that they would have to pay a lot more money for. That's just our standard of living. So you can say we've become a little spoiled over the years. People love the affordability of our homes. If you came prior to, I would say, 2014, you could still get a home for like 150, 200,000. And you're looking at like a home under maybe a little over 1,500 square feet, but a little bit under 2,000 square feet. So people love that. You know, on a modest income, you can afford a pretty decent house. So that is what brings people here, and that is what keeps people here. Now, over the last few years, especially after the pandemic, our housing has increased a lot. But at the same time, what you're getting for a house, especially in other parts of the country, we are still exceeding that, I guess you could say, kind of like level of quality or building, or what you can get for that price. So our average price point did go from 250 to 400,000 in the Houston market. But at the same time, if you saw what you got, brand new home, 10-year warranties on home, granite countertop, jacuzzi size, jacuzzi or oval tubs, just the amenities you were getting. The community will feature fitness centers and resort style type swimming pools with the big old slides for the children. Schools that were immaculately clean, like no dirt on, like no trash on the ground. So when you kind of see some of the amenities, and you're coming from other parts of the country, especially like the West Coast, where that same house would cost you about $1 million, that is why people are constantly moving here. Like I said before, one of the things that's bringing a lot of people here, or the great thing about living in a city, is the no state tax is number one. And then the second thing is the quality of living and the good housing. Number two is we do have pretty good weather all year round. We really don't get cold. So some people are moving from like Michigan, or they're moving from like Ohio. We have some clients moving from Ohio, New York, and they're just tired of just digging their cars out of snow, or opening their front door and it's piled up with snow. At least that's what they tell me. So they're ready for, after 20, 30 years or whatever time frame they've been in where they are, they're just ready for a warmer climate as they are aging, or as they just are ready for it. So one of the things we're known for is our great weather all year round. We also have amazing chefs. Amazing restaurants. I can't stress that enough. When I would want amazing food, diverse kind of like taste of food, but prior to, as Houston went from this small rural town to this big development, I would have to go to New York or somewhere else. And I remember moving out there and saying, well, man, they got everything. It's so diverse. It's all this great different types of food. And of course, Houston eventually became a metropolitan city, a big metropolitan city. So we started getting all these chefs coming here, renowned chefs from other places, New York and France and Italy and Thailand and different places. So now our restaurants and our food is like, oh, okay. We get, some of it. We have gained a lot of weight in this city. I will tell you, my friends, myself, people I talk to, we are gaining weight in this city because the brunches are off the chain here. The mimosas, the happy hours are great here. It's just a great city for food. We are a very diverse city as well. We have all the major, as far as I know, cultures and nationalities of people. So we have a Chinatown, and we have people from India and Pakistan, and they bring their culture and their food here. And we have, I will say something. We are still struggling to get some good Italian food. We have some Italian restaurants, but not like some of the other places I've traveled. We're still struggling a little bit to get that consistent homemade kind of Italian restaurant. So if you're an Italian chef, you need to come to Houston, or if you know how to make authentic Italian food, you need to come to Houston. But that's one thing I do notice, that when I travel versus here, I'm not finding. But other than that, we have amazing food. We have places like the Turkey Leg Hut, and we have places like the Breakfast Club, and we have a area called Highland Village, which has Steak 48 and Bisou's, and I'm trying to think of we have a place called that I like to go to called Corico. It's like Latin type of cuisine. We have Japaneros in Sugar Land, which is Latin fusion and Japanese cuisine. So we have amazing food. So just know when you come here, you're gonna have amazing food. You're gonna have a good quality of life, very clean city, pretty much for the most part. There's some areas that are not so clean, but for the most part, the majority of our city and our suburbs are very, very clean. Like there's no trash on the ground cleaned up. I mean, we really try to keep up with our city. And you're not gonna have a state tax, which just save you a lot of money, no matter your income, but especially if you're a high income earner or a business owner and stuff like that. So that helps a lot. Another thing, number 4, I just want to say we're known for our weather. Our weather brings a lot of people here, and they love the fact that they're not shoving snow from a city or a town where it gets a lot of snow. That could be a big issue for you over time, and especially as you age and you become elderly, that could be a big issue over time. So those are some of the great things about living in the city of Houston, our diversity, just overall our great schools. We have a lot of concerts that come here. We have major sports team. We have our NFL team, the Houston Texans. We have our baseball team, the Houston Astros. We have our soccer team, Houston Dynamos. We have, I feel like I'm gonna forget one of them, but we have our major sports team. We have a great museum district, which has the Museum of Fine Arts. We have the Museum of Health and Science. We have the Museum of Natural Science. And it is also a beautiful park located next to the museum called Herman Park. So we have that. We have our medical center, which is renowned as well. A lot of people will travel from different parts of the world, not just the United States, but the world, to come and get certain procedures done at our medical facilities, because our doctors are known to be able to do some amazing things with those type of specialized procedures. So we have a great medical system here. Let me see what else. I feel like I'm missing something, but I can talk about Houston all day. So let's go to some of the cons. Now, being a native Houstonian, even being a native Houstonian, there are some things I don't like about Houston. Okay, so one of the things is we do have flooding. Okay, now our flooding has been going on since I was pretty much born. I mean, I can remember being lights and power out and being in a hotel room with my family, weathering out the hurricane. So our hurricanes are pretty extreme here. They are usually not life and death situations unless you don't follow the hurricane procedures. So what I mean by that is we have procedures in place when hurricane season happens. The news will broadcast it, the radio's gonna broadcast it. And it's usually things like, okay, go to the store and get your supplies, food, water, things you're gonna need, candles, things you're gonna need to weather out the storm. The storm can last from 1 day to 3 days. It doesn't last a long time, but it lasts a few days. So you wanna get your supplies. If you try to go to the store and get your supplies a few days before the storm, you're gonna be shit out of luck. And Amazon's not going to deliver, no one else, because it's a storm. So you need to go get your supplies when they tell you to get your supplies, or pretty much have your house stocked just when you know hurricane season's coming. So they're going to announce hurricane seasons. We're expecting a major hurricane, let's just say May and August. I think that's about the time they come. We've had some floods around May, and then we had another one around August. You already know it's coming. It comes almost every year. Sometimes it's a little more harsher than the previous year. So you know it's coming. So I need to start getting my supplies ready. Even though it may not be for 3 or 4 weeks, let me get my supplies ready. Get your supplies ready. Because if you try to go to the store and get some of these supplies, they're gonna be out of supplies, and they may also be out of gas in some areas. So you wanna fill up your car and maybe have an extra, I don't know what you call it, gas can or whatever. And of course, store that safely, because there's been some catastrophic things with gas cans if you don't store them safely. So make sure you know how to store them safely. But they're gonna tell you. But the number one thing I can tell you about the flooding is when they say do not go under the bridge or certain areas, do not go. Like, I cannot stress that enough. When they tell you do not go or stay in a house or whatever, please just listen. And there's 2 reasons. Number one, if you don't know the city, there's certain areas that the water rises and you don't know, there's kind of like a dip in the street. And you kind of take your car kind of in and it gets stuck and you can't get yourself out. Of course, if the water starts to rise, which is during hurricane season, once the rain starts, it kind of comes down pretty hard. If you cannot get your car out, which more than likely you're not going to be able to, the water starts to rise. And of course, if your windows are up, you need to crawl out, get your family out of, or whoever's with you, and swim. If you, of course, roll your windows up, you have the chances of more than likely of dying in that car. When they put up barricades, do not go through the barricades. There are a few people over the last few years who had tried to go through the barricades. Their car gets stuck, their windows are up. Of course, they drown in their car or trying to get out of their car, whatever. They tell you what to do. All you have to do is listen. It's not, we rarely lose people. It seems like we only lose the people that don't listen or think it's just a joke or think it's just, oh, I can get through the water or whatever. And also our first responders are super busy that day. So, and also they have families and stuff like that. So we don't want to put their lives at jeopardy either. So we want to obey the rules of the flooding. If you're in your home, you are normally safe in your home. So please get in the home, your building, whatever you are. You are normally safe. It usually goes away. And the streets start to, the water recedes like it never happened. Like, I swear to God, our city will, like the streets will fill up with water in some areas. And I swear by God, that's like, let's just say it's 12 o'clock in the afternoon. By 5 o'clock, it will clear up like nothing ever happened in the whole entire city. It is that weird. Okay, our weather is that strange. But like I said, as long as you prepare when they tell you to prepare and follow the rules, you will be fine. I mean, I've been here pretty much, like I said, my whole life. Survived a lot of hurricanes. My family has survived a lot of hurricanes. Friends. It's just the people who don't listen to the rules and think their car is a boat. But one of the most amazing thing about our city, if there is some of our native residents, especially the ones who, like I said, because it's usually the people who are from here that know what to do and have that kind of hospitality in their heart, they will pull over. And a lot of the guys, especially our cowboys and everything like that, they'll have trucks and they already are prepared. They have trucks and they have boats, and if they see you, they will pull you out free of charge, just help you. They're so amazing. Their heart is so amazing. That's the thing about Texans, and that's the reason why I live here. And even when I went to visit other states, I ended up coming back because of the genuine heart of our residents. So that's one of the cons, just making sure you pay attention during flood season and make sure you have flood insurance on your house. All homes do not need flood insurance. There are areas that never ever flooded in my entire life. But flood insurance on most average price point homes is about $500 a year, maybe $1,000 a year. So it's not expensive to have. So even if you buy a house here in Houston or in some of our suburbs, and then me or my teammates say, well, it's not in a flood zone, you still may want the flood insurance because we can't determine next year what Mother Nature will do. Okay, but for the most part, the majority of areas that are not in the flood zone do not flood, and they haven't flooded since I was born, pretty much. All right, so that's one of the cons. Another con is our traffic is bad. Okay, most people drive an hour to work. Most people, unless you've got a house near where you work, but the majority of us drive a good hour and 15 minutes, hour and 20 minutes to where we need to go. And that is normal for us. When I talk to people coming from other cities, they are like, you live over there and I live over here, I will never come visit you. It's almost like I live in a whole nother state or something. Some people are used to driving 15, 20 minutes to get where they're going, and that's their life. Here in Houston, we are used to, and it is normal for us to drive an hour to an hour to maybe an hour and 15 minutes to go somewhere and to work. That's normal for us. So just keep in mind, if you don't live close to your job, you may be driving a long time to get where you need to go. So if you need to live close to your job, or you like to be close to your job, you need to let us know so we can help you find that property near your job. And a lot of times, sometimes people have certain jobs. Let's say they have a great job downtown Houston, but they love a certain school district or the way this certain community was built, 45 minutes away, 30 minutes away, or whatever. They will just make the sacrifice because that's just where they want to live. It's just the way, the type of lifestyle that area offers them. They just love it so much for either themselves as a single person or with a family. So they're going to make that commute, okay? Yeah, us driving. So the thing is, our suburbs are not really far. Our suburbs are like 30 minutes. It's just the traffic has gotten so bad in our city. We have grown so much that you're gonna sit in traffic a long time. If you hate traffic or anything like that, you really gotta find. Let us help you find a place close to where you want to be. We do have things like tollways that are supposed to have gotten you there faster if you pay a little more money. Sometimes they work. Sometimes you're just sitting there and the people, like I said, the people who are on a freeway and the people who are on a tollway are just sitting side by side with each other. You ain't moving no more than anybody else. So we do have tollways. We do have HOV lanes, which is high occupancy vehicle lanes or something like that. And as long as you have 2 to 3 passengers, you can get into those. Or the easy tag, you can get in. You can get in. You can get on those freeways or that area of the freeway. Another thing is our freeways are big. We do not have little freeways. We do not have like 2-lane freeways, but we have like 6-lane freeways. So our freeways are big. So we have 4 to 6-lane freeways and they're filling up with cars. You can only imagine the amount of traffic here. The third thing I wanted to tell you about, one of the cons people, even myself, even living here my whole life, one of the cons about living in Houston is we are literally next to hell. Okay, it is so hot here that even I turn a couple of shades darker. Like, I'll lighten up during the winter and then darken up during the summer. Lighten up during the winter, darken up during the summer. Like, it is like you would think we were like literally we were next to hell. People joke, put little memes on social media and they're like, I gotta get right with God, because if this is what hell is like, I gotta get right with God because it is so hot here. Coats are optional, even during the winter months. Coats are optional. I mean, it feels like 9 months out of the year, or maybe 8 months out of the year, it is hot as hell. I think one of the ways we are able to survive is we're really not outside that much during that time. We usually, from our house, go to our garages, go to our car. From our car, go to either work or go to, school or school for the kids if you have kids, or you go to college if you're in college. If you're going out for the nightlife, you normally pull up to valet or you park your car in the garage of the place you're going to, and you get out and you go straight into the building. So we're not really outside doing physical activity. Like, I remember when I was in Seattle, one of the places I love. In Seattle, you kind of, you have people bike riding and you have people rollerblading and walking. A lot of times, if you're not up by 7 a.m. doing your walk, you'll probably not be doing your walk. I mean, unless you can really take this heat, because it is so hot. You feel like you're just melting. You feel like you don't put on deodorant. You just get so sweaty and, that feeling, I just don't have to describe it. It's just that feeling of just sweatiness and perspiration, and you swore you took a bath and took a shower and you're just like funky by the midday. I mean, if you stay out there, if you're in a cool area, you're good, but if you stay out there, it's really bad. So some of the things people don't or cannot deal with is the fact that this is a really hot city. I mean, it really is. There's no amount of shorts, t-shirts, tank tops is going to help you. It is just a hot city. So if you don't like it too hot like that, it may not be the best city for you. But like I said, the way we deal with it is we're not really just out in the sun. We have places to go. We're usually just in our house, or we're in our once we leave our house, we go into our garages. Once we leave and get in our cars, once we get in our cars, we're heading to a building or somewhere. So that usually helps us deal with the heat. Now, starting in later in the years, October, November, December, we do not get the traditional kind of winter fall. We get kind of some days where it drops below 50, 20 degrees and 15 degrees, but it doesn't last long. Like a lot of times, I don't even own I probably have 1 or 2 coats. I mean, I rarely, over the years I bought coats, but like I said, over time I've grown out of them, and I just really never bought myself a coat. We really don't wear coats that much. We really don't wear boots that much, like Chicago, New York, and those kind of places, Seattle, Portland, Colorado, during the winter months. You can wear them for fashion and everything a few times out of the year, but you will not get that much use out of them. It just does not last that long. So That is one of the cons people hate is our weather. If you can't withstand the heat during those high temperature months, and the traffic is really bad, like I said. But I do want to say, like, there was something I was going to teach you guys, tell you guys about the. Oh, we do not snow here, so let me explain. We may get snow every 10 years, like actual snow flakes falling. We do get times of the years where it kind of gets so cold, and if it rains, we may get like little snowflakes, but by the time they hit the ground, they kind of melt. Now, I met a girl from Chicago, and she came here, and she was like, "You guys got to be freaking crazy. Y'all shut the city down because there was no snow, but it was so cold outside that there was like kind of like sleet or ice on the ground." She was like, "Y'all shut your whole city down. The schools are shut down. Everything is pretty much shut down unless it's an emergency vehicle or somebody like that. All the government buildings are shut down. All the banks are shut down. Everything's shut down." She could not believe it. She was like, y'all got to be kidding me. Like, what?" I was like, "Yeah, we have to shut down." So we shut down if it gets too cold, like if it gets below, I think, like 30 degrees or something, or was it 40 or 30 degrees? Because we have to. And a lot of people come from other states where it snows up to whatever feet of their house or their car. They don't understand. So we are a city between our inner city of Houston and our surrounding suburbs. I would say we have almost 6 million people. We may have 7. I mean, the numbers are fluctuating because people are coming in and out. But we do not know how to drive in snow or ice. We are not prepared for it. We don't have the cars that are prepared for it. We just don't know how to do it. So one time in Houston, I remember they shut the city down because there was a little sleet or ice on the road, and the roads were slippery. Like if you drove over 20, 30 miles an hour, your car was going into a ditch somewhere. I mean, it was slippery. And that day, I remember the news had reported like 800 accidents. There's nobody on the road. How is there 800 accidents? So what was happening was the few people who decided to go out on the road, they were slipping and sliding. They were either actually slid into the little bitty few cars that were on the road. They actually hit them. They actually slid their behinds on off the freeway, slid their behinds on into a ditch. So imagine if you have 4 to 6, 7 million of us driving that day. We do not know how to drive. We need to shut down. So we're going to be shut down during any extreme cold weather time. So just keep that in mind as well. Some of the other, I won't say it's con. I mean, I'm a religious person, but sometimes people don't like the word conservative state. You know, we are a traditional southern state, and we have our, religion is very important in this state. So we have every type of religion because we're a diverse city. So we have every type of religion: Christianity, Islam, Judaism, Buddhism. So we have a lot. So religion and church and prayer is very important in our city. So you'll see temples of different religions all over the place, and we take, people here take the religion serious, and they are very devoted to being at service on the day of their religious service. So we are a very religious state, just in case there's some people who are not into that. As well as we are an open carry state, meaning you can have your gun on you. It's not like the Wild Wild West. Everybody thinks people are walking around shooting it. It's not like that. But be courteous of people on the freeways, be courteous of people at the stores, wherever, because people are carrying, and it is legal to carry, and you don't just want to not saying you will, but you just want to be courteous to everyone around you, because we are a carrying state. So if you're anti-guns or anything like that, just know that Texans love their guns, and we are a state that open carries. Doesn't mean everybody's walking around with guns on their holsters or anything. It's not like that. It's not the Wild Wild West. It's not old traditional Texas, but it is a state that allows you to carry a gun. Okay. Another thing that people complain about to me about living in Texas, and I also don't really like about it, is we do have high property taxes on our real estate. Now, we don't have a state tax like I mentioned before in the video, right? We do have a great affordable housing with lots of upgrades and amenities that, most people are paying $500,000 or $1 million for. We may pay $250,000 for that same property. People in other parts of the country are paying more for what we're paying for, like these 250, 350, 450 properties, right? So we do have a very good quality of life and living for our income levels, I guess. But one of the things is we have high property taxes, and the reason why we have high property taxes, or some of the reasons, is because we do not have the state tax. We do have the sales tax, 8.25%, but we don't have the state tax. So you may find some properties in our city, let's just say some areas, a property may be $300,000 and it can have like a $15,000, $16,000 property tax on it. And then you can go to another neighborhood and it'll be $300,000 and it'll be like $8,000 property tax on it. Some of my clients and even friends pay up to $30,000 a year in property taxes. Well, that can be someone's whole entire income. Maybe not their whole, but the majority of someone's income. So if you're making 50 grand a year, 60 grand a year, and then this house is like $30,000 a year in property taxes. Now, remember, that's not on our average home. Those are usually our more nicer, upscale luxury homes, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 property taxes. But I would say on our like 250, 450 types of homes, you're looking at anywhere from $5,000 in property taxes all the way up to $16,000, $17,000 in property taxes. The neighborhoods that require like $15,000, $16,000 in property taxes, those, that could be a lot for a family, just in taxes, not even like your car note, utilities, food, vacation, whatever. College, that's like a college bill every year. So just keep in mind, we do have high property taxes here, but that is what I'm here for. That is what my team is here for, to just help you navigate this Houston market if you're not from the Houston area. So I think that's going to wrap up today, all the pros and cons about our city. And you can reach out to me if you have more questions, or you can drop a comment below if you have more questions. We're available by text message. You can schedule a consultation on our calendar link. You can call us. There's email us. There's just so many ways to get a hold of us. So if you have questions about moving to Houston, buying a home, investing in real estate, reach out to myself, reach out to my team. We're here to help. That's what we're here for. Like I said before in the beginning of the video, I know this market in this city like the back of my hand. I grew up here. I watched almost every building, but a lot of the buildings come up over the years, a lot of the subdivisions, a lot of the builders. So I know a lot about the Houston market. So make sure you reach out to me if you have any questions about the Houston market. And thank you so much for watching my video.